see if we can't find the stream. It shouldn't be too far away. Is that it there? Looks like it. Might be uploading as I speak. There's a stream. There's audio. And that is a Twitch ad. Fantastic. Well, I'm pretty certain that everything is running as it should be. There's no reason for it not to be running as it should be. So, hello everyone, and welcome to round 3 of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Considering this has been on the calendar for only 2 seasons, it's remarkable how the circuit already has a reputation of being one of the most controversial, dramatic and demanding racetracks on the Formula 1 schedule. Designed by the son of Herman Tilke, the Jeddah Corniche circuit is a 3.84 mile, 27 turn racetrack that lines itself against the coast of the iconic Red Sea. The circuit features an array of incredibly high-speed corners designed to test the very limits of grip, commitment, and control. As a result, the circuit has an average speed of around 150 miles an hour. With these high speeds comes catastrophic consequences. Any false moves around this circuit will prove to be incredibly costly, thanks not only to the insane speeds here, but also to the close confines of the racetrack. There are 3 DRS zones that lead into turns 1, 22 and 27. These will provide the best and, realistically, only overtaking opportunities around the racetrack. Now, considering we're again in the Middle East, it should be no surprise that we have dry conditions for both qualifying and the race. Hopefully, with that in mind, we get to see some action out on track. But before we fully focus on that, there's a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Bahrain. There were 2 incidents that were reported. The first involving Vermeaux, Saint and Airborne Tiger. The outcome is a 10-second time penalty and 2 penalty points to Saint for causing a collision at the start of the race. He was also given an extra penalty point for not providing footage. In the second incident, it was involving Barma and Bruno Diaz. The outcome was a 5-second penalty and 1 penalty point for Bruno for causing a minor collision. Verstappen has gone off the road there for some reason in the runoff area. He'll get going again shortly. There wasn't a great change in the results with these penalties. Saint was demoted from P13 to P14 in the final result. Bruno hangs on to his finishing position. In the Drivers' Championship, Barma 22 is leading on 43 points, followed by Artemello after his win in Bahrain. He sits on 25. Third place is Vermeaux, who is absent for today's race, and his place is Lopez in the Red Bull. But Vermeaux is third on 23, followed by Bruno Diaz on 22. He's currently tied on points with Airborne Tiger in 5th place. Verstappen is P6, followed by Fortnite Racing in 7th, then Saint, then Arba, and rounding out the top 10 is Kitten Petter. In the Constructors, Alfa Romeo leading on 65 points. Second place is Haas on 27. Alfa Romeo have got a pretty decent sized lead after only 2 rounds, has to be said. Third is AlphaTauri on 25, followed by Red Bull on 23, as Bruno has been disqualified for driving the wrong way. He's done this at the exit of turn 23. He has somehow lost control of the car, and in his attempt to get it pointed back in the right... Oh, what's the AI doing? Yeah. In his attempt of trying to get it back in the right direction... Oh, hello, dearie me! Who was that? It's Game Boy. He came across... Oh, and a boots crashed into him as well. Hang on. Right on board here with Bursey, arriving to the accident here. Oh my goodness me. And that was all caused from Diaz disqualifying himself for driving the wrong way after he made some sort of mistake through turns 22 and 23. Game Boy arrived on the scene and crashed straight into Bruno, put himself into the outside wall. So he's out of qualifying, and Abood, similar to Game Boy, arrived on the scene and he crashed into Game Boy's car. So 3 drivers out in the matter of about 30 seconds. Well then, a little bit of drama right at the beginning of this qualifying session. Really unfortunate for those drivers. They will more than likely start from the back. It's not the easiest place to come back up through the field, that's for sure. So we'll just do one quick rundown of the constructors again. Alfa Romeo leading on 65, followed by Haas on 27, AlphaTauri on 25, then Red Bull on 23, Mercedes are next on 22, Alpine is next on 13th point, on 13 points, followed by McLaren on 10, Aston Martin on 6, Ferrari on 2, and Williams on 1. So all the teams have scored points after the first 2 rounds. So, with all that news out of the way, we can now focus on qualifying, and my goodness, what a start to qualifying we've just had. 3 drivers out already. And there's a slow Ferrari trying to get out of the way. That would be Mitch Burns on an in-lap. Hello, Rogue. Nice to see you in the chat as well. As Verstappen will take off down the main straightaway to begin his first flying lap. We're right on board. Give you a proper tour of this racetrack. Into turn 1, then turn 2. You have to be careful on the accelerator on the exit. These cars, as I've mentioned in previous streams, are very traction limited, so you have to be careful out of low speed corners. Around turn 4, into turn 5. This is probably the most iconic part of the racetrack. The high speed S's. Turn 6 into 7. Now around turn 8 and turn 9. Running a little bit wide, but keeping the car within the white lines. Around turn 11, then 12. Heading up towards turn 13. This used to be a pretty decent overtaking spot, because in the previous game there was a DRS zone leading into this corner. It's been correctly removed and put down the back straight. Well, back straight, quote unquote. Around turn 14, up towards the chicane, turns 16, then 17. Around turn 18, this is somehow a corner. Around turn 19, into turn 20, where you'll open DRS and head towards turn 21. Then the chicane of 22 and 23. Really high speed through here. You have to be careful with the inside curve at turn 23. Around turn 24, where you see all the tyre marks on the ground from drivers crashing into one another. Around turn 26, then up towards turn 27. 27 corners around here. It's really unnecessary, if I'm totally honest. Like, with some of those corners, they don't really need a corner number designated to them. It just makes it quite irritating. Verstappen crosses the line to set a 28.7. He's currently 3.5 tenths off pole position. That's been currently occupied by Barmer 22. JD on a flying lap, making his way out of turn 17 around turn 18. Now, although that you have DRS here, you can't really do anything in this DRS zone. I don't think I've ever seen anyone overtake into this corner. It's just way too dangerous to do that. Around turn 24, then around this back half of the racetrack. Not going to lie, there's one really cool camera angle, sort of top-down camera angle around that section. Gives you a real idea of the geography of the racetrack. It's actually kind of cool. Out of the final corner, you'll open DRS down the main straightaway, and JD will cross the line to set a 1 minute 29.9. So just within the 1 minute 29s. He's currently the second slowest out of all those who have set times. Electric Blade is currently the slowest at a 30.2. Peyton making his way up towards the final corner. We'll be seeing entry speeds of 330 kilometers an hour, and that's just occurred to me that I don't have it set to miles an hour. I thought I would have had it set. Anyway, doesn't matter. We can change that. There we are. As Peyton goes to P2 with a 1 minute 28.1, 1 minute 28.512. He's just under a tenth behind Barmer, who is still in the pit lane. Verstappen goes into the pits, and he'll put on another set of tyres, getting ready for another flying lap. Lopez is on an in lap. Artemelo is on a flyer, making his way around turn 4 into turn 5. And into turns 6 and 7, flat out through these two left-handers. There's a brief lift around turn 8, into turn 9, around the notorious turn 10, where Mick Schumacher had a monstrous accident in the real-life Saudi Arabian Grand Prix a few months ago. Around turn 13, fourth gear, back on the power, short shifting to 5th, getting right up towards the wall on the exit, around turn 14, into the left-hander of 15, now the chicane of 16 and 17, fifth gear, just missing the wall and just catching it, just about catching it. He got very sideways at the exit of turn 16, but he managed to gather it up quite nicely. Now around the back half of the racetrack, up towards turns 22 and 23, down through the gears to fifth gear, around turn 24 now. He'll open DRS again and head up towards the final turn as Bursey's out of qualifying. Fortnite Racing. Oh, dearie me. So he's lost control, I would guess, in a similar fashion to Artemello a few moments ago. He's now despawned. His car was right up against that tyre barrier on the outside. So I'd hazard a guess he lost control like Artemello. He just wasn't able to gather it back up. To be honest, I was quite surprised Arte was able to gather it back up. He got quite sideways. He did very well to gather it back up. Fortnite Racing, he's heading up towards the finish line. He'll set a 29.2, goes 8th quickest with that lap. Currently, he's 4/10 off the next car, Lopez in P7. So it's a pretty big gap between P7 and P8. Kitten Petter on an outlap. Airborne Tiger on an outlap. He's about to begin a flying lap. Speaking of flying lap, Barmer is on one. Our current pole sitter, our current championship leader. He's got a lap time of a 1 minute 28.422. How much can he improve by? Around turn 7, around turn 8. Running wide, but not invalidating. That's surprising. Around turn 10, through 11 and 12. We go up towards the long left-hand sweeper of turn 13. On the brakes, bringing it down to 5th gear. Back on the accelerator. He'll get right up towards the wall on the exit using all of the racetrack. Around turn 14. Up towards 15. Now 16 and 17. Gets through that pretty well. He was right up against the white line there. Cutting all that he could at turn 17. He'll open DRS and head towards the critical chicane of turns 22 and 23. Entry speed 204 miles an hour. The apex speed of around 140. This track is ridiculously quick. Cannot be understated how quick this track is. It's also incredibly intense as well. As Barmer will come around the final corner. Ferrari getting in the way there. He'll head down the main straightaway, open DRS, and head up towards the finish line. It's going to be a 128 flat. Oh, he's 1,000th off a flat, like an exact flat. If only he found that one extra thousandth of a second. That would have been incredibly sick. But still, a very nice lap time. And he's currently half a second in front of the next car, which is Peyton. He's getting ready to set a flying lap. Mitch Burns was a Ferrari that was in Barmer's way. He's currently P3 with a 28.7. He's only 6 thousandths in front of Artemello, who is also in the pit lane. Verstappen is up by just over 3/10 to the middle sector. He comes out of the final corner and doesn't bin it like his real-life counterpart back in 2021. And he'll head up towards the line, crosses it, 1 minute 28.563. He's currently half a tenth off Peyton in P2. There's still half a second off Barmer in P1. Let's see how Peyton can improve. He's getting ready to set a flying lap. He'll head down towards turn 1. Entry speed 207 miles an hour. Brings it all the way down to second gear. Clips both apexes pretty well. Around turn 3, now heading up towards turn 4. You want to get as close as you can to the left-hand side wall here at turn 4. Peyton could have got a little bit closer, but it was nice. Oh dear, oh dear. The inside curb at turn 5 caught him out. Fortunately, though, he hasn't ended up in a barrier. Except for that slight brush there. Now, McLaren is coming. Oh, he's been disqualified. Oh, hello, McLaren. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, dear. It's Kitten Petter, and he's out. Oh, dear. Well, that's the second disqualified car to take out another car. Oh, hello, Aston Martin, and hello, Ferrari. Yep. That's Mitch Burns out of qualifying. Well, Oh no. Oh my goodness me. The drivers aren't paying attention to the yellow flags out on track. And they seem to have forgotten that ghosting is turned off. So you got to be very aware of the cars around you. And evidently those drivers weren't. Oh, my goodness. So, how many retirements have we got? 7. Oh, well, yeah, 7. Pretty much. Fortunately for the likes of Petter, Berzi and Mitch Burns, they've actually set lap times. And unfortunately for both Peyton and Diaz, they've been disqualified. Now, Peyton was just trying to do the right thing, trying to get out of the way. But, unfortunately, the game doesn't like it when you drive the wrong way. Even for a little bit. So he's been disqualified. And Electric Blade made a mistake at the final corner, damaging his front wing. You can see the winglet on the ground. So he'll come in and get that fixed. And I think with the time left on the clock, he won't have the ability to set another flying lap. I think that might be qualifying over for Electric Blade. So the best he can hope for is P11. Out of the opening chicane goes JD, currently P10 with a 29.9. He's heading up towards turn 4. Hard on the brakes, bringing it down to 4th gear. Around turn 5, using a healthy amount of curb and doesn't spin out like Peyton. Around 6, around 7, around turn 8, cutting way too much. Losing control. Oh, and here comes a Red Bull. I would back it up, JD, if you could. Use that runoff area there. There we are. And gently guide your car around the racetrack because those tyres are going to be hot. They're going to be very hot. Fortnite Racing getting ready. Is that Barmer at the front? No, it isn't. It would be his teammate, Airborne Tiger. Still yet to set a lap time down in 15th place. And if he doesn't set one with the time left on the clock, he'll be starting 15th, which would be less than ideal, for sure. He'll open DRS and head down the main straightaway. Nice wide approach. He's trying to carry as much speed as possible down the main straightaway into turn 1, 3rd gear. Doesn't bother using 2nd. He short shifts to 4th, actually, through turn 2. Around turn 3, gets lovely drive out of the corner as well. No hint of oversteer whatsoever. 4th gear through turn 4. Around turn 5, manipulating the throttle, trying to keep the grip of the car as he runs over one of the tyres left from one of the retired cars. He went over the white line there, but the game didn't bother to give him a warning. This lap is still valid. Heading up towards turn 13. He's apparently purple to the first sector. I somewhat doubt that. Around turn 13. He'll head up towards turn 14 now. Then the chicane, the critical chicane of turns 16 and 17. Get as close as you can to the wall and try and cut a little bit here. He's done that really nicely, but he's understeered just a little bit into the outside barrier. And you'll open DRS down the back straight towards the chicane of turns 22 and 23. His teammate Barmer's making his way towards the same section of track. He's currently up by a 10th in the first sector. What will the clock say here in the middle sector for our current pole setter? It says he's up. He's found a little bit more time. He's just under 2/10 up on his current PB. Verstappen is up by 2/10. No, he's not. He's going to cross the first sector split here. What does the clock say? He's down by a 10th. Well, in order for him to take pole, he needs to find 6/10 throughout the remaining lap. As Airborne Tiger puts in a hell of a lap, and that's a hell of a spin for Verstappen. Just as soon as I flicked away, Verstappen lost control, and that's qualifying over for him. It's qualifying over for Barmer as well, and he's right at the top with a 27.7. Saint goes to P2 out of nowhere with a 28.5. Artemello, his lap's invalid, so he has to start, well, his best possible starting place is going to be P6. We'll see what Lopez can do here as he heads up towards the finish line. It's a 28.6. It's P4 for Lopez. He'll be starting on the second row. And Andy Wu, after setting his one and only lap during this qualifying session, will start inside the top 10 with a 29.9. But that's a hell of a gap between the top two cars. That's 8/10 separating Barmer and Saint. Barmer in a class of his own here at Jeddah. Well, that will end quite a chaotic qualifying session, to say the least, here at Jeddah. We had several retirements and 2 disqualifications during this qualifying session. And at the end of it, our championship leader will be starting on pole. My goodness. That's only if you crash, Kitten Petter, but you're more than welcome to join me here. Always like the company. Nice to see everyone in chat as well. Very, very cool to see. Rightio. That's what I'm fully prepared to commentate. Fair enough. Jeddah do be like that sometimes. But on other days, you could get through without an incident. Very weird. There we are, the results from qualifying, and that's a hell of a statement from Barmer to put his car on pole by 8/10. That's a big gap. That's a very big gap. Saint will start alongside in P2. Nice qualifying all round for AlphaTauri, as Verstappen will start P3. Lopez 4, followed by Airborne Tiger. Then Mitch Burns, Artemello, Fortnite Racing, Kitten Petter, and Andy Wu rounds out the 10. Bursey P11 followed by JD, then Electric Blade, and look at this. 2 cars didn't get to set times, and 2 cars got disqualified. Abu, Game Boy, Peyton, then Diaz. They'll be completing positions P14 down to P17. Yeah, the AI did do that, Connor, yeah. It's a bit weird how the AI just sort of decides to park the car in the middle of the racetrack, especially after a moment like that. But it's the AI doing what the AI does best, just doing stupid things. They're really good at that in this game. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be very, very careful with how you get the car pointed back in the right direction after a spin, because the game really, really doesn't like it when you drive backwards down the racetrack, even for a little bit. So you sort of have to be alert, know your surroundings, and try and find a way to not drive backwards down the racetrack. Try and use reverse, get backed up into a runoff area, then try and get pointed back in the right direction. And it's not completely their fault either with the crashes, because those drivers who came through, you got to be aware of the yellow flags around the racetrack. Anyway, conversation over. Race is about to begin. We've got 5 red lights, and we are underway here at Jeddah. It's a nice start for Barmer as they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. It's a really nice start for Barmer as Fortnite Racing collides with Lopez, and there's drama here at turn 1. Oh dearie me. Mitch Burns, a 5-second penalty. A severe collision with Kitten Petter. JD's held back, Abood's held back. Saint still in the wall, and we have a full course yellow. Dear oh dear. Well, lap 1 drama. See Fortnite Racing completely destroy front wing. He tried to go down the inside. Oh, more collisions on track as Bruno Diaz destroys his front wing. I think he hit the back of Elite Game Boy coming out of turn 12. And it appears to be a virtual safety car, not a proper safety car that's going on. It's a pity it doesn't come up with VSC in the top left. It just shows a full course yellow. So everyone just needs to keep an eye on their deltas. You don't want to get a drive-through. You really do not want to get a drive-through. Those with damage don't have to worry about that because they're traveling that slowly. They don't have to worry about the delta. And now we're back under green flag racing here at Jeddah. Barmer in front by 0.7 of a second to Verstappen. Then 1 second back is Barmer's teammate Airborne Tiger. So it's looking quite good for Alfa Romeo once again. And it's a bit disheartening for AlphaTauri because Verstappen's in P2. His teammate, who qualified P2, is now in P last. Verstappen trying to close the gap to the car ahead. And we're going to have a few of the tail enders come into the pit lane to get their front wings fixed. Bruno Diaz and Fortnite racing into the pits. Saint, a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. They'll just rub some extra salt into the wound. As midfield make their way around turn 4. Yellow flags are out. Oh dear, it's Lopez. And he's now destroyed his front wing at the exit of turn 2. He's missing an end plate on the right-hand side of the front wing. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see what they pitted onto as well. We'll bring up the tyre graphic. Bruno onto the soft tyre, Fortnite Racing on hard tyres, Saint on hard tyres as well. Everyone in the top 10 except for Andy Wu has elected to start on the medium compound tyre. Andy, meanwhile, is starting on the soft compound tyre. And only one other driver elected to start on the hards, and that was Aboud down in 13th place. Got a lot of work to do down there. Through the chicane, turns 22 and 23. Running wide is Verstappen, costing him a few precious tenths of a second as he heads around this long, sweeping left-hander towards the final corner of the racetrack. Airborne Tiger still just about 1 second behind as well. He's still in this fight for the top 2 places. Artemello hovering behind as well, 1.4 seconds off the driver in P3. The Kitten Pettis kept out of trouble, though he's starting to create some. At the exit of the final corner, he got a horrible run, and here comes Electric Blade. He draws alongside and gets by, and Mitch Burns wants to follow as well. He's into P6. Kitten Petter down to 7th. Peyton looking down the inside of Andy Wu. Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Andy trying to fight around the long way, and he keeps the position. Hard fighting, but I think it's fair. Andy Wu keeping P10. Peyton staying in 11th. Into the S section now. Andy Wu's got a little bit of clear air in front of him, whereas Peyton is stuck right behind the McLaren as Petter runs wide. That's at turn 8. So does Andy Wu at turn 9. Around turn 10, through 11, into 12. Now Andy's catching up to his teammate, using up some battery, looking down the inside into turn 13. Kitten Petter leaves the door wide open for his teammate, and he shuts the door on Peyton. Oh, he has a bit of a moment there. You could hear the lift off the throttle just ever so briefly at the exit of turn 13. Through the chicane, 16 and 17, heading down the back half of the racetrack now. See Peyton following in the slipstream. He's looking to the inside here at turn 19. My goodness, that was awfully tight as Mitch Burns gets by Electric Blade. That's for P5, but can Blade fight back? Will he get DRS here? The answer is yes. He'll be closing in on Mitch here, up towards the final corner. I don't think he'll be close enough to attack here, but he might be close enough to attack into turn 1. Game Boy gets by Bursey. Game Boy is into 7th place. Aboud gets by Kitten Petter. Petter falling like a stone in water at the moment. He's tumbled down quite a few places, has to be said. Here comes Electric Blade down the inside, heading towards turn 1, as Aboud sets a new fastest lap with a 32 flat. Blade gets in front into P5. Not much Mitch could do about that. The overspeed of DRS is quite noticeable, especially around a racetrack that requires a lot of downforce. Through the iconic S section, around turn 5, around turn 6, into turn 7, then turns 8 and 9. Mitch Burns steadily losing a little bit of ground here and there. Yellow flags are out. It's JD. He has crashed out in the middle of the S section, and we have another full course yellow. This time, though, it's a proper safety car. You can see the yellow dot making its way out onto the racetrack on the minimap. We've got a proper safety car this time around. There is JD's car, lost control, coming around turn 5. He's put it into the outside wall at the entry to turn 6. That's really unfortunate for JD. He's our first retirement. And from that, he's created the first safety car period of the race. Now, considering it's lap 4 of 25, I don't really think anyone's in a window to pit, but I could be wrong. I haven't done too many races here at Jeddah, so I don't know fully what the strategy is going to be like. We'll see if anyone will pit, though. Will the race leaders? Barmer stays out. In goes Verstappen. He goes in very late, but he's in. Tiger follows. So does Artemello. Electric Blade goes in. Same with Mitch, Game Boy, Bursey. Everyone behind Barmer is electing to pit, except for one, Aboud in the Aston Martin, who started on the hard compound tyre. He'll move himself up to P2. Andy Wu getting off the soft tyre. He'll be putting on a set of hards. I reckon a few of these guys are going to try and get these tyres to the end of the race. Also a slight double stack for both McLaren and Ferrari as JD has left the session. Hard tyres being put on Peyton's car as well as a front wing change. He'll leave the pit lane in 12th place as Bruno comes in. Set of hards at the ready for him. Up goes the car, on goes the wheels, and away leaves the Mercedes. And he'll drop down to 14th, make that 15th as Lopez stays out alongside Saint. Actually, no. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Bruno will come out behind Lopez. Reading the wrong car. Fortnite Racing has elected to put on the medium compound tyre that he had at the start of the race. Interesting call. He might come back into the pits again for the same set of hard tyres that he had on before. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We could probably bring up the race director here. Or not. So we can see the pit stops here. Front wing changes for Bruno, Fortnite Racing, Saint and Lopez. They got damage on lap 1. Well, Lopez got damage on lap 2 after spinning out at turn 2. And everyone else on lap 4. Verstappen, Tiger, Artemello, Bursey, Electric Blade, Andy Wu, Game Boy and Mitch Burns. Kittenpetter got a front wing change, same with Peyton. Bruno getting off the soft tyre onto a set of hards. Fortnite Racing moving from a set of hards to a set of mediums. He might move back to a set of hards. We'll find out in a few moments' time. Into the pits goes Verstappen. He's back in. Ooh. Interesting. Set of mediums coming out, I believe. Yep, set of mediums. Front wing change as well. Did he hit the back of a boot? Or did he hit a wall or something while I was flicking through Race Director? Must have. Either that or he had wing damage prior to the safety car period and the game didn't properly change his wing like he wanted. Or, yeah, be careful on those tyres, Verstappen. They're stone cold. Petter goes for a set of mediums as well. Not sure if he had a front wing change. Scroll down again. Yep, front wing. So these two had to come in during the safety car period for a new front wing. Will they both go back in for that set of hard tyres? My guess is that they would. They've got nothing to lose with an extra pit stop. Except for the fact we might be going back under green flag racing at the end of this lap. But that's a huge blow for Verstappen. Running up in the top 2 for the first few laps, keeping out of trouble. But evidently, trouble has caught up with him during the safety car period. And he's down in 15th place with a lot of work to do. Barma, our race leader, electing not to pit during this safety car period. He's now a pit stop behind basically everybody except for a boot in the Aston Martin. Safety car in this lap, so those who are on the medium tyres now won't have the ability to pit onto a set of hard tyres and catch up to the train. All the drivers have made their bed, now they got to sleep in it, essentially. Be interesting to see who's made the right calls in terms of strategy. Around the final corner. Heading back onto the main straightaway. You can see Barma trying to get temperature into his tyres. Abu not bothering to put temperature into his tyres. He's waiting for Barma. And away he goes down the main straightaway towards turn 1. We're back on the green flag racing. Bruno's overtaken Lopez before the control line. Lopez has taken the position back, so that's not a problem. Around turn 1. Or Bursey and Andy Wu. Andy going off the racetrack. So is Bursey a little bit. And Game Boy's going to take advantage. Round the outside into P6. Oh, and Andy's slowing right down, letting everyone through. Interesting. Bring out yellow flags for a brief pit. Oh, off the racetrack goes both Red Bull drivers, Berzi and Lopez. Had to use a runoff area. 3 wide through 6 and 7. Contact. Wing flying off into the distance. Yellow flags are out in Sector 1, but I don't think we've had any retirements. No, everyone's still running, but someone's got damage. As Bruno Diaz is trying to line up Verstappen here down the inside at turn 13, sends it in. Verstappen can't do much about it. Fortnite Racing's looking down the inside as well. He gets in front of the AlphaTauri into 13th place. Now, who lost that bit of wing? Who lost it? It might be Lopez. Yeah, he's missing an end plate on the left-hand side, and he's going to be swallowed up by Bruno Diaz and Fortnite Racing, heading towards the turn 22-23 chicane. It's really tight, really intense between these guys at the moment, but they all get through. Verstappen's held up. He's going to have to try and get around Lopez, around this long left-hander, heading towards the hairpin of turn 27. Lopez, bit of a sitting duck at the moment. He'll have to pit, get that front wing fixed. We were bound to see some drama on this safety car restart. It's unfortunate for a few drivers. They got damage from it. In goes Lopez for a front wing change. Meanwhile, let's see here. The battle between the top three. Barmer, Aboud, Airborne Tiger. Currently, Aboud is stuck in an Alfa Romeo sandwich. He's on 7-lap-old hard tyres. The car in front has 7-lap-old mediums. The car behind has pretty fresh 3-lap-old hard tyres. Artemello is closing in as well in the Haas. He's very much in this fight as Kittenpetter gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As the leaders head out, oh dear, that's Lopez. He's spun. That's a pit exit, and he's out of the race. He's actually put the car into the wall, and it's disintegrated. And we have another safety car. Oh dear. Now, I don't believe that was intentional in any way. He didn't really hit the wall particularly hard. But he hit the wall hard enough that the front left disintegrated. Oh. There we go. Now, what does Barmer do in this particular situation? There's another opportunity to go onto the hard tyre. And he says yes. He'll go onto it. Aboud's coming in as well. He's going to get off his 7-lap-old hard tyres. Probably put on a set of mediums and try and stretch them for as long as he can. Or he'll do 1 lap on them and come back in and put on the same set of hard tyres and try and do an entire race on the hard tyre. That is an option. Fortnite Racing's in for a set of hards. Verstappen's going to do the same thing. A front wing change as well for Verstappen to boot. Kittenpetter and Andy Wu coming in. Front wing change for Andy Wu. I imagine we're going to see a lot of front wing changes over the course of this race. Just seems a very natural thing around the racetrack this fast and this narrow. Set of soft tyres as well for Andy Wu, so I think he'll come back in and put on the old set of hard tyres. And he comes in 15th place. So, new race leader is Airborne Tiger in the Alfa Romeo. Artemello is second, followed by Electric Blade, Elite Game Boy, and Mitch Burns. That's the top 5. Saint P6, Peyton P7, Berzi 8th, Bruno Diaz in 9th, and Barmer, man who has led every lap so far, is down in 10th. On fresh tyres, mind you. And we've seen how quick he was during qualifying. Be interesting to see how he would fare coming up through the field. Now, we're bound to do 1 extra lap behind the safety car. It shouldn't come in this lap, I think. Even if Andy Wu catches up to the tail of the train, I think we will do 1 more lap. But I won't hold my breath with this game. You never truly know. Okay, so Andy's pretty much caught up. And the safety car is still out on track, and we haven't had a prompt. They'll be coming in, so we will be doing 1 more lap. So let's go through all the details, shall we? So, position changes. We got Airborne Tiger up 4, Artemello up 5, Electric Blade up 10, Game Boy up 11. They've done a really good job keeping out of trouble, making up places where they can. Mitch Burns up 1, Saint down 4. But in fairness, it's a really nice recovery after what happened right at the beginning of the race. Peyton, after getting disqualified, is up 9 places. Burzy up 3. Bruno up 8 after his disqualification. Not bad at all. Barmer down 9, but we know why. He didn't bother pitting at the first safety car period, but now he's pit. He's down in 10th. Abood up 3. Fortnite Racing has been caught up in a bit of trouble. He's down 4. Similar story with Kitten Petter. Verstappen, he had some sort of incident during the first safety car period, which meant he dropped from the top 2 down to 14th now. And Andy Wu has been getting caught up in trouble as well, down 5 places. Only 2 retirements so far in the form of Lopez and JD. In terms of stops, everyone's made 1 stop except for Bruno. He's made 2. And Fortnite Racing, Kitten Petter, Verstappen and Andy Wu, they've all made 3 stops. And we're not even at the halfway mark. There's the tyres. Everyone's on a set of hard tyres except for Abood. I think, considering he hasn't come back in for the same set of hard tyres, he's going to try and go to the end on those. It'll be a stretch, but hey, what's the worst that could happen? Penalties. Saint has got a 5-second time penalty. I think that was for speeding, if I recall correctly. And Kitten Petter has got a 3-second time penalty next to his name. We'll just quickly double check that though, in terms of incidents. Yeah, Saint, 5-second time penalty for speeding on the... can't speak. Speeding in the pit lane during lap 1. Alright, yeah. Safety car in this lap. Airborne Tiger will now control the field and decide when to go back on the green flag racing. There's the virtual Bernd Maylander making his way back towards the pits in that lovely looking Mercedes AMG GT. Airborne Tiger backing the field up. Everybody stacking up after the final corner. And now he floors it. Down the main straightaway we go. We're back on the green flag racing here at Jeddah. It's now lap 11 of 25. We got a lot of laps to go. Into turn 1, Bruno Diaz has got some Burzy, Peyton, and Bruno battling for position. Burzy battling Bruno as he gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Bruno wins this battle for now as they head into turn 4. Abood looking racy. Barmer looking to the inside of Burzy. Burzy has to cut the track. And he keeps P9 as a result through turn 8, through turn 9. Up towards turn 10. See Abood right on the back of Barmer. He's trying to get by as soon as possible. Make full use of these medium compound tyres. He tries to look to the inside, but cannot commit to the move. Verstappen as well has moved up into 13th place as Abood gets a nice run on the outside, but isn't in a position to attack here into the chicane of turn 16 and 17. Bruno on the back of Peyton. Peyton on the back of Saint. Saint pretty much on the back of Mitch Burns as well. No one's really gained time. No one's really lost time. And here comes Peyton. An aggressive move. Down the inside of 22. Through 23. Oh, and they somehow get through. That's quite remarkable. As, oh, hello, what's going on here? 3-car fight here for P10. Burzy, Abood and Verstappen as they head up towards the final corner. Verstappen, will he look to the inside here? The answer is no. Abood looks around the long way of Burzy. Can he keep this fight alive? Yes, he can. They'll head down the main straightaway. Abood gets in front. Covers off Burzy. He'll probably protect the inside line heading up towards turn 1. Saint is overtaken by Bruno Diaz, but Saint fights back down the inside, but he has the outside line for turn 2. Still keeping the fight alive to his credit, but has to give up the position. Bruno's into P7, and here comes Barmer, looking all over the back of the AlphaTauri. Oh, he's looking around the outside. He cuts turn 5. They're side by side. Saint gets out in front in P8. Barmer has to settle for 9th. Couldn't get the move done at turn 4, so he has to wait. Now Abood's back on the rear end of Barmer, heading up towards the sweeper of turn 13. The Alfa Romeo closes in, not by enough to attack though. Has to stay in behind. Oh my goodness me. Out of turn 13, around turn 14. Heading up to 15, 16 and 17. No one really in a position to attack here. Bruno running a little wide, same with Saint. Barmer closes right up to the gearbox of Saint, using up some battery as well. Look at the overspeed. No DRS, that's just overspeed. Oh my goodness. He drove around Saint as if he was standing still. Saint runs wide. Aboud tries to look around the outside. He gets in front. Oh, contact between the two AlphaTauris. Verstappen goes into the wall. And Bersey takes P11. Fortnite Racing goes to 12th. Verstappen falls to 13th. Bersey has to give up another place. This time to Fortnite Racing, who had the inside line. Verstappen greets himself to this battle. He tries to get by Bersey, but is unsuccessful. And it appears that there's no damage on Verstappen's car. If there was, he would have pit. Barmer looking around the outside of Bruno Diaz at turn 1. Can't get it done here. Tries to get around the Mercedes-Benz, but still can't find a way by. He's not close enough alongside to try and fight here at turn 4, I would think. No, he has to give in. Oh, but Bruno runs wide. Barmer's trying to look around the outside, but Bruno covers him off at turn 6. Around 7 into turn 8. Oh, Barmer closes right up to the gearbox of the Mercedes, but can't find a way by. And Aboud is right on the back of him once more, heading up towards turn 13. Verstappen gets a 3-second time penalty. Does he look here? No, he's not close enough to try and battle. Aboud closes right up now, right to the back of the Alpha. But Barmer gets a great run out of 13. He closes up on Bruno. Not to attack here, but to attack within the DRS zone, or maybe even earlier, as Bruno, I believe, clipped the inside wall at turn 16. Looking around the outside, that turns into the inside at turn 19, and he gets on by with DRS. Now Bruno will have to worry about the Aston Martin of Aboud, who is closing in at a rate of knots. Out of 23, around 24, into turn 25. Bruno will have DRS, but so will Aboud. And he slingshots by the Mercedes. Can he get in front into the braking zone? He gets fully in front into the braking zone, and as a result, he will keep P8. But Bruno gets a nice run out of the final corner. Not good enough, though, to try and challenge Aboud into turn 1. Aboud now will try and close up on Barmer and keep this fight alive, and Barmer will try and close in on Payton. Game Boy, Electric Blade are battling for turns 1 and 2. Heading into turn 3, Mitch Burns and Payton will want to get involved here. It's side by side heading up towards turn 4. Game Boy looking around the outside here. Now turns into the inside and Game Boy gets in front, but the battle is still very much alive as Blade will not give up. The flags are out as well. That's Kitten Petter having a spin at turn 3. Around turn 10 now, the left-hander through 11 and 12 running wide is Game Boy. He was dangerously close to losing control of the car there. Heading up towards turn 13. No one really in a position to attack, only try and defend as Payton tries to defend from Barmer 22, who's closed in on this battle. A bit of a wiggle there for Payton. Barmer will get closer. Actually, it might have been Mitch Burns who had that moment there. It's difficult to tell. I knew a Ferrari definitely lost control just a little bit. Oh, but Payton's definitely lost it there at the exit of 17. He's pointing the wrong direction. He needs to be careful of how he points back in the right direction. Oh no, he's been disqualified. He barely drove the wrong way. He was doing exactly what he needed to do. Oh, that is so stupid, if I'm honest. That is beyond stupid. He barely went the wrong way. That is ridiculous. As Verstappen overtakes Bersey, that's for P11. Fortnite Racing is battling Saint as well. Around the outside at the final corner, almost into the wall there as they head on to the main straightaway. Fortnite Racing slots into the slipstream, and he's got tons of battery to use as well. He draws alongside and overtakes Fortnite. Mitch Burns down the position as Barmer goes through into 5th. These two are still battling for 3rd. Contact between Blade and Barmer there at the exit of turn 2, but Barmer gets a hell of a run through turn 3 and he's into 4th place. Now he only has to get by Game Boy, and then he's got the task of closing in pretty much a 6-second gap to Artemello through the S's now. Artemello has retired. Oh my goodness me, he has crashed out at turn 12 and we have another safety car brought out. Oh my goodness me. And it appears that all the drivers have gotten by Artemello. They were able to see the Haas and drive around him. Now the car has despawned. So, retirement number 3 has resulted in safety car number 3 in this race. Kitten Petter will drive by the safety car as he's meant to. Interesting. And this will give me a break to catch my breath because, oh my... Oh, drive-through penalty, never mind. Kitten Petter has been given a drive-through penalty for speeding during this safety car period. He wasn't paying any attention at all to the Delta. I think he's just gotten himself another one. Well, it's a fair question, Rogue. Would anyone pit onto the soft tyre? And Blade's going to take that chance. I like the gamble. It's aggressive. As Petter gets another drive, I think he's just going to try and get himself disqualified here. Right, we'll keep up the tyre graphic. Soft tyres at the ready. No, that's a set of mediums, I think. Double stack for Aston Martin as well. And there we go, he's been disqualified. So it seems that Petter's had enough and he's disqualified himself from the session. There you go. Set of hard tyres for Abood. Interesting. He was on a medium, a set of mediums, but he's elected to go back onto the tyres he started on. That's an interesting call. Saint putting on to another set of soft compound tyres. Andy Wu onto a set of mediums. So we got 3 cars on the soft tyre, 3 cars on the mediums. Everyone else on the hard tyre. That's an interesting call from Abood to move back onto the hard tyre. I'm surprised by that. Maybe it was a mistake and he accidentally put on the hard tyre. He might go back to a set of softs at some point, but yeah, interesting. I suppose I better invite him in here, shouldn't I? Well, I'll go blue screen for just a few moments, chat. We'll invite Kitten Petter. Get an extra pair of eyes looking over the racetrack. This shouldn't take too long. Unless Kitten Petter's somehow offline, which I seriously doubt. Let's see here. A, B, C, D. Oh, hang on. Did I go straight? Oh, not too many of my friends online at the moment, but that does sound about right, seeing as most of my friends are Australian. So, alright. Well, join whenever, Kitten. Don't have to, if you don't want to. Alright, we're back. Let's get on with it. 3 front wings. Yeah, I imagine the front wing count during this race, Kitten Petter, would be over 10, over 12 front wings, as Mitch Burns and Abood. Well, there you go. Abood. I reckon he had soft tyre selected, but the game put him onto the hard tyre, because it does do that every so often. It's kind of stupid, but it does do that every so often. Hello, Petter, by the way. Sound like you had enough.
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't think this place is really fit for league racing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you could tell during qualifying. I had one foot out of the door before we even started here. I genuinely hate this place.
Yeah, I think your opinion of this circuit is pretty clear, and yeah, you've had a fair few moments to say the least around here in both qualifying and in the race. I'm sure you're glad you finally called it a night and hopped into the commentary box.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do so earlier, but then I got the drive-through. I thought I was just catching the rest of the field that passed the safety car. But yeah, I really did not want to keep going.
I don't blame you, especially after getting that drive-through during this safety car period. I'm sure that's probably the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, I wanted out before that because I was on the hards and I was going to have to pit regardless, so I was just going to be on a weird strategy.
Yeah.
My mediums were already like 40%.
Well,
so
speaking of weird strategies, top 4 on hard tyres, and it's a mixture of mediums and softs for everybody else. So this is going to be an interesting sort of 8 laps of racing we're going to have here. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next. There's no point predicting anything. Let's just sit back and enjoy the show. Now, airborne targets controlling the... Oh,
Absolutely.
My goodness. Field stacks up. We'll head down the main straightaway. He takes off. It's now lap 18 of 25. We have got 8 laps to go. And here comes Game Boy, looking down the inside into turn 1. Can't quite turn the fence into attack there for Game Boy. Barmer will get through into second place. It's now an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Bruno in 4th place, hovering behind. Electric Blade battling Fortnite Racing here at turn 4. They enter turn 5. Electric Blade has to cut the racetrack. Fortnite Racing gives space. Around turn 6, into turn 7. Verstappen battling for position. Through turn 8, it's tight. Verstappen runs wide. Loses control, but gathers it up. No, he doesn't. Crash there at turn 10. Andy Wu involved, destroying his front wing. Verstappen might have got side pod damage from that collision. I wouldn't be at all surprised as Barmer takes the race lead. Coming out of turn 13. Tiger down to 2nd, Game Boy in 3rd, 2 tenths behind is Bruno Diaz, followed by Fortnite Racing. Then it's a 1 second gap back to Electric Blade in P6. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, that's a fair noise to make. Get the beers out, boys. This is going to be an interesting final lap.
This is going to be a melee. We had something similar last night in AM2. It was absolute chaos for the last 7 laps or so of the race.
Oh my goodness me. Right now, it's very tight between the top 5 cars, all of them in a train. Then it's a bit of a gap back between Burzy and Electric Blade for P6 and 7 as Andy Wu gets a 3-second time penalty. Speaking of which, here comes Mitch Burns around the outside into the final corner, and he takes P7 away from Burzy. Burzy down to 8th. Here comes Fortnite Racing on Bruno Diaz, heading up towards turn 1. Now, Fortnite Racing's on the outside. Bruno, can he fight here? Not quite. He's going to try and stay on the racing line as Fortnite defends the inside at turn 1. Bruno can't find a way by. Abood's overtaken Burzy as well. That's at turn 1 as Saint goes into the pit. So evidently from that restart lap, he's found some damage. He has to come in. That's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that was a big move from Fortnite Racing. You can see Elite's on the ropes a little bit, trying to hold him off. I think he had a quadruple.
Tight into the wall and spinning goes Game Boy. Oh no! And more collisions. Bruno Diaz is out of the race. Oh dear, oh dear. And we have another safety car. Oh my goodness me.
I don't think Elite realized the run that
Fortnite had.
Fortnite Racing had. Yeah, he was on him in a hurry. And that's not typically a place you're expecting a car up your inside, but
no.
It's just an unfortunate racing deal.
And then Bruno, the completely innocent bystander and all that, gets completely shafted.
I know a thing or two about what Bruno Diaz is going through at the moment.
Oh,
I'm just glad it didn't happen to me.
No, you promptly took yourself out to save yourself from the misery of doing the remaining laps here.
Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to do was to keep driving around here. I was going to have an aneurysm if I kept up.
Fair enough. Right. Barmer's in. Airborne Tiger stays out. Interesting. So Barmer doesn't want to keep the track position. He wants soft compound tyres. Fortnite Racing is in. Abood stays out. Anyone else coming in? Yeah, we got a few drivers. Mitch Burns, Electric Blade, Verstappen, Game Boy. That makes sense. Game Boy probably got damage, I imagine, from that spin.
These guys should be comfortably in soft territory here.
Yeah.
Gonna have 4 laps to go.
Yeah, look at that missing end plate on the 26 car.
I don't know. I think, I hate to say it, I think Airborne might have muffed it a little bit there.
Yeah, he's
worth putting on the softs.
He is a bit stuck, isn't he, on those hard tyres when everyone else is going to be on the softer compound.
And there's probably going to be a little bit of fall off from Abood, who could hold up Burzy, but it's going to be entirely dependent on his teammate not getting around these guys, because I have a feeling Bam is going to be coming with a vengeance.
Oh, my goodness. What a night. What a race. Artemello's left the session, so he's been watching along.
Back in the place. I'm surprised he's still out there. They're having pretty similar days.
Yeah, well, Andy's just sort of minding his own business, I suppose. And so long as he keeps the car on the track, worst result would be 11th, but I imagine with the laps remaining, we're bound to see something.
Yeah, I don't think that we're finishing with more than 10.
You know, I wouldn't put it past these guys, especially with how hard they've been racing before we've reached these final few laps. So I'm sure a lot of guys want to finish, but a lot of them want to finish as high up as possible.
Typically for a race in Jeddah, I would hope for a little more patience. I was kind of stuck in the back most of the time, so I had a front row seat to the start. I think it was Fortnite Racing who lobbed one up the inside, really created chaos. Everybody got bunched up. But the restarts as well, we're seeing 2 wide, 3 wide.
Into the pits.
It's very extreme.
Fortnite Racing is back into the pits. Well, he's retired.
I think maybe he feels bad about that incident.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't really think it's his fault. It's just sort of how the circuit works.
Yeah, I mean, he was just coming in way too hot. You're not going to jump on the brakes there. You just have to have a little faith that Elite saw that run coming. I just don't think he did.
No. Like, he was... Yeah. I'm just grateful I'm not a steward. I won't call that one. I'll leave that to the stewards. If there is an incident report, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I mean, at least is still in the race. Obviously,
that's right.
That's Bruno, but maybe Fortnite Racing, which is a great name, by the way.
I don't know about that. I like Nicholas Latifi.
It's nice to have 8-year-olds in the league where there's a youth movement.
Look at me on Fortnite Racing.
It's of course it's useless. Who is also Nicholas Latifi.
Yeah, useless as a cat.
He's a
Yeah,
man of
Nicholas
many names.
Latifi. Yeah, but he's elected to retire. Which is, unfortunate for him because he was looking really good before this safety car period, before that accident. He was running up in the top 4 on the soft tyre and he was looking very fast, so... Yeah.
It looks like Shelley was wondering why I'm up here. I would much rather commentate the chaos around this track
than be involved in it.
Than be a part of it. It is up there with, I think, Monaco... in Miami now. These are
Miami, Baku isn't too bad either in terms of the drama. Tend to see basically any street circuit really. You just see a lot of drama.
See where Airborne goes this time if he mixes it up. I know he likes to get an early start to try to drop guys, but he's really backing up the field on all these restarts so far. Man.
Yeah, look how much he's checking everybody off, and then he takes off. It's a very Airborne Tiger restart. He's done it a few times now, and it's now lap 22 or 25. We've got 4 laps to go, and Berzy's under pressure here from Barmer, looking around the outside of turn 1. Oh, he drove round him like it was nothing. He's into P3. What a manoeuvre. My goodness.
As you like.
Oh, and Verstappen has a big old wiggle coming out of turn 2. He managed to gather it up quite nicely, and he's still right behind Electric Blade. Here they come through turn 5, heading up towards turn 6. Abood is applying a lot of pressure here to Tiger, but Barmer's coming in to support his teammate. Heading around turn 10, through 11 and 12. Abood will close in down there straightaway towards turn 13. Airborne covers the inside. Abood follows him around the racetrack, around turn 13. Oh, closes right up at the apex of 13. And here comes Barmer. He's got to run through 14. He draws alongside Abood. He'll have the inside line at 16, but he backs out. Probably a wise decision there. No need to battle now. We've still got a few laps to go. Bersey starting to drop time to the top 3. The gap is 0.8 of a second between P3 and 4. Heading around the back half of the racetrack towards turns 22 and 23. Abood right on the back still, waiting for his moment to strike. But Barmer closes up through the chicane. Heading around 24 towards 25. Barmer will be using up battery. No, he hasn't actually. He's got a full charge still as he heads up towards the final corner on the racetrack. Turn 27. None of these guys want to battle, but these two are. Burns and Blade. Verstappen's involved as well. Oh, and a poor exit from Bersey. Another wiggle from Verstappen as they head down the main straightaway to start lap 23 of 25. 3 laps to go. Heading down towards turn 1. You can see Saint involved as well. So both AlphaTauri cars looking for points here as they come out of turn 2, around turn 3. You see Blade and Barmer, the gap increasing to 1.5 seconds. It's starting to look like a fight for the win between Abood and Barmer, because Tiger, of course, has those 3 seconds next to his name. Oh, wait. Yeah, and Barmer's got to run. Yellow flag. Game Boy's out. He has crashed out. Oh, my goodness. At the beginning of lap 23, coming out to turn 8, he's put the car into the wall. Another retirement. We're down to 9 cars. Blade is starting to close in on Barmer once again. He's now 1 second behind our championship leader. They go through turn 17. Blade steadily closing the gap. Burzy creating a gap. Burns wants to get by. So does Verstappen and Saint. It's a really tight fight. Lovely aerial shot here. Looking at the cars going through this high-speed section towards turns 22 and 23. Burns doesn't quite close in, but Verstappen most certainly does. Around 24, heading around 25 now. You can see the iconic Red Sea. You can see the cars heading up towards the final corner on the racetrack. And Verstappen gets by Burns. Around the outside at the final corner. Burns put up a fight, though. Oh, they're almost in the wall, but it's still side by side, heading down the main straightaway. Not quite. Verstappen gets in front as DRS is now enabled with 2 laps to go. Barmer looking around the outside here into turn 1. Sends it in deep and gets in front of Abood, but Abood fights back here at turn 2. You'll have the inside line at turn 3, but Barmer gets in front. He's into P2 and the provisional race lead around turn 4. Into turn 5, Abood runs wide, costing him precious tenths of a second. And Blade closes in P4. Burzy still holding P5. Verstappen still behind on his soft compound tyre. Around turn 9, into turn 10. Around 11, into 12. He won't be close enough to attack here. But can he close in around the corner and try and create an overtake in the next half of the racetrack? Barmer, can he get by his teammate? I'm sure Tiger won't put up too much of a fight. He knows the situation. He's in, and Saint has spun at turn 13. He drops down to 9th, and I think that's where he'll stay towards the end of the race, unless something dramatic happens. As Barmer closes in with DRS open, looking around the outside. No, he stays behind his teammate. It's probably a smart thing to do. No need to overtake here. He can try and get by through this section, heading up towards the final corner. Now, Abood, I don't think he has DRS. No, he does have DRS. Well, lucky him, as Airborne Tiger lets his teammate through. Barmer takes the lead at the end of the penultimate lap. Abood 1.1 seconds behind. I don't think he'll get DRS down there straight away. He most certainly doesn't. Electric Blade does. He's closing in on his teammate as Barmer sets a new fastest lap. 1 minute 31.280 as Verstappen's overtaking Burzy around the outside. Burzy fights back though. Can he stay around the outside of turn 2? He's most certainly trying, but he can't stay in front. Verstappen's into 5th place, heading it back up towards the top 2. I don't think Airborne Tiger is capable of fighting back, and I don't really think he wants to. He wants to try and follow Barmer if he can and try and build up a gap.
Yeah, see if he can get himself on the podium here, even with that 3 seconds up penalty. Who is that?
Saint. Yeah, he's had another moment. He just needs to get to the checkered flag now. That's all he needs to do, and it's 9th. Yeah, it's going to be points. Heading out to turn 13. Airborne Tiger doing all he can to keep up with his teammate. Abood doing all he can to try and keep within that 3 second range as Saint gets a 3 second time penalty. Now, what will this dynamic look like? You got 2 teammates battling for the final podium spot, and Blade is closing in at a rate of knots. He's got 1 final DRS zone after this one to try and make a move. Will he go for it, or will he play the team game and stay in 4th place? I suppose time will tell. Meanwhile, out in front, it's a nice clear bit of track in front of Barmer right now. He's making his way around the final corner. And now he's got the run up to the line as Verstappen's trying to fight around the outside of Blade. Blade puts up a fight and he will hang on to 4th on track. But it's Barmer who takes the win and fastest lap as well on the last lap of the race. Electric Blade will jump up to P2. Abood drops down to 7th. Did he have a time penalty, Abood? I don't think.
What happened there? I don't think so.
He didn't have a time. I could have swore he didn't have a time penalty. Interesting. That could have been a timing glitch.
He dropped it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, could have dropped it on the final corner.
Like, he's in front of his teammate on track right here. So.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So that might just be a timing glitch for Abood there. Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I'm not. Good job from the reserves at Aston Martin today, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both did really, really well. P3 and P4, well, on track anyway. With penalties, I think it's P2 and P3. I think. I suppose we'll let the stewards deal with that as well.
I think Airborne might have been able to hang on to third. It was really tight, though. Either way.
No, it's another win for Barmer 22 in the season of racing here on Contest of Speed. This will extend his championship lead by quite a bit. And with a 1-3 result at the moment, this will massively extend Alfa Romeo's lead in the Constructors' Championship. So this is another big race for the Italian-Swiss outfit.
I don't think anybody can catch Bama. I don't know.
He fast.
Except for me, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm giving the rest of the field
you're just running at 1% power, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just letting them get a head start on me.
That's it. Coming. So, the unofficial results of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Barmer 22 is your race winner. Qualified on pole by a lot, won by not so much, but he also got fastest lap, so it's a full complement of points for Barmer. Electric Blade P2, followed by Airborne Tiger P3. Mitch Burns P4, followed by Verstappen, then Bersey. Andy Wu P7, nice drive from him. Saint P8, after all the drama Saint went through. That's not bad at all. Now, who was it who got driver of the day in this race?
They gave it to Electric.
That's right.
So I guess, yeah, Electric would have finished ahead of Airborne, so I think it is Bama Abood Electric. Abood says +1 lap, so something obviously happened there
so
in sector.
That's a nice pickup there. Yeah, the game classified him a lap down for some reason, so...
He was definitely fine for most of that lap.
Yeah.
I think it was coming out of the last corner.
Holy mackerel. Huh?
No, I had a lot more fun doing this than I would have driving the last 10 laps of the race.
Well, you might have scored points considering what happened. Even with the drive-thrus you got.
My personal rule is once I get to the third front wing, it's probably time for me to just go ahead and call it a day.
I can understand that. I imagine quite a few people went through front wings today. Certainly a very chaotic sort of demolition derby out there at times. Oh. No, it was drama everywhere today. Just drama in qualifying right off the bat as well. With Diaz disqualifying himself from the session, and that the AI caused drama.
I almost forgot about that. Yeah,
right at the beginning of qualifying, and then you got caught up with Peyton's AI driving in the middle of the circuit.
His AI was just driving right to the top of the track where I was going. That was one of the silliest things I've ever seen.
It's just the AI doing what the AI do best. Really stupid thing.
The track's too tight. The track is too tight for league racing. Pass it on. Let everybody know.
Or at least with ghosting turned off. I think a few of those incidents probably would have been avoided with it turned on, but you know.
Possibly. We did a league-wide vote, I think, on the AM side.
Yeah.
AM2, for example, typically runs with ghosting off completely, but for street circuits, they voted to have ghosting on.
Yeah, fair enough.
I prefer it like that too, but you know, I kind of like the raw.
Yeah, the
rawness, the realism.
I prefer ghosting turned off myself. I just, you have to actually take care when you see incidents on track. You don't just plow through them at 1 billion miles an hour. So you do have to have a little bit of care.
The downside of that is sometimes AIs will just drive in your way.
Oh yeah, they just do really, really silly things. But we had the drama on lap 1, where I think Fortnite Racing and Colt Saint, I think, were the main two involved in that. I think Lopez was involved in that, if I recall.
Yeah, that was right in front of me. Me and Archimello and I both had to take Had to cut that chicane completely because it was just carnage on the inside.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of it, to say the least. Then we had first retirement was JD that brought out the first safety car. Had a few other retirements as well. We had the big shunt that we witnessed between Fortnite Racing and Elite Game Boy at turn 12. That caused Bruno to retire out of the race. And all the intervening drama, like Verstappen, I didn't end up catching it, but Verstappen ended up getting damaged during the first safety car period, which ruined his chances for a top 3 result. So
he had a whale of a day as well.
Yeah, a lot of people
behind him for most of it. Yeah,
just,
I think we all need a beer after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind something nice to drink at least. But I think, Petter, I'll round up everything in this race. A very dramatic one. And thank you for hopping in after your decision to stop.
Hey, that's 2 disqualifications in 3 races, baby.
Consistency is key.
We're off to a hot start.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you next week. And again, thank you for joining us here in the comms box.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Smeg is one of the best in the business.
Well, I'm exhausted. I've been talking flat out for the past half an hour, so...
I wanted to try to give your voice a little bit of a rest.
I get into a zone and I don't stop talking, so... But I think with all the drama, all the action, all the racing finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. My temporary co-commentator for tonight is Kit and Petter. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 4 of the AM1 Championship at Circuit Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. The drama doesn't stop here at AM1. It's going to continue next week. That's for sure. Until then, it's goodbye.